my channel. I'm Bren. I began my series on integrity a couple weeks back with A Man for All Seasons, which was a story about a man who has just tried to maintain his silence. And then we followed it up with The Insider, which is about a company that tried to really maintain silence even as 60 Minutes was trying to get the news out. But this week we are dealing with The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, which has this sort of odd postscript. The only reference you get is when in doubt, you print the legend rather than the fact, or something like that. So we're going to figure out what that's about. Let's check it out. How do you get a town named Shinbone?
Link apple, yeah.
Howdy, Mr. Senator.
No, Rance.
Who was that, Jason?
That's Senator Stoddard and his wife.
Hey, Senator! Senator Stoddard? Ma'am? I wonder, could you give me an interview?
Senator Stoddard, this is a surprise and an honor, sir.
Well, back in business again, politics. Link, why don't you take Hallie for a little ride around town?
That's awkward.
He never did finish that room he started to build on, did he?
Yeah, we're being sentimental.
Just why did you come to Shinbone?
I'm here to go to a funeral. A man by the name of Tom Doniphon.
In a place like Shinbone, and every person in the territory would know everyone else.
Pompey? Pompey, I'm sorry.
Okay, we're 10 minutes in. Obviously,
maybe
the
you'd
story
like
is really
to-
about the man in the box.
Where are his boots? Put his boots on, Clute. And his gun belt. And his spurs.
Sir, I don't wish to intrude, but a United States Senator is news. Who was Tom Doniphon?
He was a friend, Mr. Scott.
I'm sorry, Senator. That's not enough. I have a right to have the story.
No, actually you don't. No, we have a freedom of the press, meaning they cannot be obstructed. He does not have the right to a story. That is an invasion of personal privacy.
First time I came to Shinbone, I came by stagecoach.
Stand and deliver.
Stand next to that when he's doing that.
Now, what kind of man are you, dude?
I'm an attorney at law. I'll see you in jail for this.
Jail. Well, I'll teach you law. Western law.
Hallie! Wake up, gal. You got a man down here ambushed.
He's hurt real bad.
Well, let's stare at him. See how that works.
Whipped and kicked, and just for trying to protect a woman.
Looks like we got ourselves a ladies' man. Pompey, go find Doc Willoughby. Take her easy there, Pilgrim. All right if I smoke, ain't it?
Sure, go right ahead.
But not if the movie is made after 1980 something.
The man with the silver-knobbed whip?
Liberty Valance. But if that's what you gotta do, you better start packing a handgun.
I want to put him in jail.
Well, I know those law books mean a lot to you. Out here, a man settles his own problems.
You're saying just exactly what Liberty Valance said. Well, I'm a lawyer, and the law is the only...
Little law and order around Shinbone wouldn't hurt anyone.
Here comes Mr. Law and Order himself.
Who's this? The man from the holdup.
Well, all he wants you to do is put Liberty Valance in jail.
Yeah, Liberty.
You better listen. He's a lawyer, you know.
Or if it was a modern lawman, he could be putting James Stewart in prison instead. It's easier.
I'm only the town marshal, and what Liberty does out on the road ain't no business of mine. Ain't that right, Mr. Lawyer?
Technically, I suppose the holdup is a territorial offense.
You mean I'm right?
Yes,
No.
Marshal, you're right.
I knew
No,
it.
because you are
I knew we was
deputized
going to be
for the
friends the minute
territory.
I stepped.
Allie, you know, you look mighty pretty when you get mad. Like I say,
Tom,
Pilgrim, you can back on
he
your
says
feet.
such the kindest things.
May I have your name?
Tom Doniphon. Liberty Valance, the toughest man south of the picket wire. Next to me.
We have a town with no strong law. Anything that happens outside of town is fair game.
Did you know that Liberty Valance is in town tonight?
My advice to you is to get your supper and go to bed.
3 steaks, burn 'em black for the Lazy J, boys. Heavy on the beans. Usual for Miss Peabody with big
No,
sense.
they put the lawyer to work. Oh, look at the size of that steak.
I found it. Here, I'll show. Now, my hands are too wet. No, you get the book. Hallie, you read it out loud. I got Liberty Valance just exactly where I want it. What's the matter? Go ahead, read it.
I can't. I can't read. And I can't write. Here, take your book.
I could teach you.
What good has reading and writing done you? Look at you.
Besides what is reading and writing for a girl, she make a wonderful wife, Hallie, for the man she marries.
Yeah, and if Tom Doniphon is smart, he pops the question to Hallie before some busybody I am married to upsets his wagon apple.
Oh, you...
Hey, Marshal, are you just the man I'm looking for? I was wrong the other day, but I've been reading up on territorial law, and there it is, right there.
Told you.
What you do have jurisdiction. It says so right there. So the next time he sets foot in this town, you arrest him.
Arrest Liberty Valance? You mean Liberty Valance?
Here's the supper for Rance.
Thank you, Hallie.
Oh, sit down. The way you pop up every time a girl speaks to you. Rance, do you think I could?
Why, sure you can, Hallie. I'll teach you how. In no time, you'll be reading everything.
Maybe you can teach me in English.
Why, sure, Nora. You can be my second pupil.
Peter, you hear that? Peter!
Well, Pilgrim, I see you're still protecting the ladies.
Why, Tom, look at you. You're all dressed up.
Well, I brought you a little present.
Tom.
Prettiest cactus rose I ever did see. Ransom Stoddard, attorney at law. Well, take some advice, Pilgrim. You put that thing up, you'll have to defend it with a gun.
Well, thank you.
Any more color and you'd be prettier than that cactus rose.
What? Do I hear wedding bells? When can I print the story?
Don't rush me, Mr. Editor.
Oh, Rance, isn't that the prettiest thing you ever did see?
Hallie, did you ever see a real rose?
No.
Rance, I believe she was fishing for a compliment there. You missed,
Well, no, that's all right.
you missed your mark.
You cowhands ain't no hurry to eat, are you?
Well, are you?
Well, now, that's right neighborly of you, partner. Especially after all the lying things I hear folks been saying about Liberty Valance.
Oh, talks to himself in third person. Awesome.
Looky at the new waitress.
That's my steak, Valance.
And you heard him, dude. Pick it up.
You pick it up.
3 against 1, Doniphon.
Here we go.
I'll get it, Liberty.
You pick it up.
What's the matter? Everybody in this country killed crazy?
Some people need a killing.
There! Now! It's picked up!
Why don't you get yourself a fresh steak on me? Show's over for now.
Look at that desperado there in the doorway. We've seen him in the Clint Eastwood westerns. Older, of course.
Now, I wonder what scared him off.
The spectacle of law and order here.
It was the gun that scared him off. And you would have killed him for it.
Well, thanks for saving my life, Pilgrim.
That isn't why I did it! Nobody fights my battles!
Somebody may have to. He doesn't look up to it. There's a battle bigger than he is.
Rance, I'm sorry.
Well, cool off, Pilgrim.
He'll be back.
He sure will, but what Mr. Peabody's trying to say is that if you want to stay healthy,
Either I buy a gun or get out of the territory.
that's it, Pilgrim.
You decide to stick around, and I'll let you hang this thing outside the newspaper office.
No.
I'm staying, and I'm not buying a gun either.
Well, good luck, Pilgrim. Hallie, I'll be out of town for a while.
You like it?
It's just great.
Everybody's got to wear
I'll use it in
several
class.
hats out here in the Old West.
It seems like we have more new pupils every day.
The United States is a republic.
We hold these truths.
It's our basic civics lesson.
All men are created equal. And you exercise this power through the vote. Hello, Tom.
I'm looking for Pompey. What have you been wasting your time around here for? Get on back to work. But if you put that paper out, the streets of Shinbone are going to be running with blood. But votes won't stand up against guns. Oh, Appleyard, do you think Valance stays away from here because he's scared of you? Valance and his men crossed the river yesterday. They tried to bushwhack me, unfortunately, for one of them. You're going to put that in your newspaper, too? Print that, and he'll kill you. But election day, Pilgrim, you can depend on it. They'll be here. Hallie, go on back where you belong. I don't...
What I do and where I go is none of your business. You don't own me.
Like I said, Hallie, you're awful pretty when you get mad.
Sometimes the Duke shows he's got a little game. Still can't seem to close the deal on Hallie, though.
That day he decided to come in with me, I let him have an old gun of mine.
Mean he's gonna face up to Liberty?
What do you think posses are for?
Tom Doniphon!
There's the shack from the beginning. So that was Tom Doniphan's place.
Step down, Pilgrim.
What are you trying to tell me?
I'm telling you that Hallie's my girl. I'm building that
You should
brand
start
new
telling
room
Hallie
and
that.
porch for her for when we get married. All right, gunslinger. Hit that can. Take these cans. Put them on those 3 posts. Pilgrim!
I think that constitutes bullying.
I hate tricks, Pilgrim, but that's what you're up against with Valance.
I don't like tricks myself, so that makes us even.
Oh, honey, I'm so proud.
American citizen?
Go on in.
And it's funny how the tone shifts so widely in this story. You got this, highwayman violence on one end, and then they get some sentimental stuff with, your citizenship and your names, and you start bawling when you think you can learn to read.
All right. We're here to elect 2 delegates. Now, these 2 delegates will represent us in the Territorial Convention for Statehood. The cattle interest want to keep this territory an open range, ruled by their high-handed ideas, whatever they are. And we're for statehood. It means the protection of our farms and our fences and progress for the future. Yeah.
There's got to be some benefits of having a range, too.
Nominations. I'd like to nominate Tom Doniphon.
Because I refuse the nomination, because I got other plans. Personal plans.
You don't come from south of the Pickawire, Valance. You got no vote here.
I live where I hang my hat.
Well, Hashlinger, what are you standing there looking so high and mighty about?
To nominate the chairman, Mr. Ransom Stoddard.
And I second that nomination.
I aim to be the delegate from south of the picket wire.
I nominate Liberty Valance for delegate.
I second the nomination.
That ain't exactly legal, is it, Mr. Attorney?
No.
You looking for trouble, Donovan?
You aim to help me find some?
Then what about Mr. Peabody? He can read and write, and he runs the newspaper.
No! No!
Respectable, not me.
I'm a newspaper man, not a politician.
Welcome to the future.
I wouldn't be one. I couldn't be one. It'd destroy me. People of Shinbone, I'm your conscience. I'm the still small voice that your father confessor. I'm
I like him.
What? You side busters are a brave bunch when you're together. But don't vote anyway now, that you'll regret later when you're alone.
All those in favor of Liberty Valance, raise your hands. All those in favor of Dutton Peabody, raise your hand.
Anything further on the election?
No, legally the election's finished.
Then the bar is open.
Tough break for Liberty.
That
It was a good
don't mean
run.
a thing. You got a choice, dishwasher. Either you get out of town, or tonight you be out in that street alone. And don't make us come get you.
He called it plain. Too bad you didn't come to me sooner with that gun.
Liberty Valance defeated. What's the matter, Mr. Peabody?
Get a monologue. A soliloquy. This is great. With pantomime.
Well, courage can be purchased at yon tavern. But have we credit? That is the question, have we credit?
Yes. Tell him, Wilson.
As for you, Horace Greeley, go west, old man.
Wow. Silhouette dance, too. You got more than our nickel's worth on that one. It's surprising that Appleyard lived so long.
Go, Rance. Go now while you can.
On St. Crispin's Day.
Henry V. Very nice.
What blows in our ears? Then
Uh-oh.
we saw Liberty Valance and his myrmidons.
Well, you can start by eating this.
He's dead.
Okay. Tonal shift. Careful, you're going to light that whole place on fire.
Peabody.
Not quite dead. That's the thing,
Marshal?
you can't walk out of a civics lesson part way through. You just, you know, you got your freedom of the speech, assembly, press.
You tell Liberty Valance I'll be outside.
Kept your gun in a carpet bag, huh?
Miss Hallie?
Pompey, where's Mr. Tom?
Down the road a piece way in high.
Get him quick! Ransom's out front with a gun! Hurry!
Another one of your accidents, huh, Valance? I'm looking forward to the day when it's you they'll be calling me for.
Paid in advance.
He does have style and pays his debts.
$10 into the... Oh, you mean he's got a gun in his hand, huh?
Not even going to take his apron off, huh?
You all heard him say he had a gun in his hand, didn't you?
I didn't.
That ain't murder, Mr. Marshal. That's a clean-cut case of self-defense. Gunslinger, you out here? Come closer where I can see you.
Why would he do that?
Pick it up. All right, dude. This time, right between the eyes.
It's Liberty. He's hurt. It's Liberty.
Oh, shucks.
Whiskey, quick.
There you go. Now the Mad Hatter is at his leisure.
Dead.
Well, get a second opinion. Someone else kick him.
If it had been you instead of Valance, I can't help. I feel so guilty. I didn't want you to run away. I wanted you to stay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry I got here too late, Hallie. I'll be around.
You have a great use of shadow in this film.
You saw that? That lawyer fella shot him down in cold blood. Pure murder. Give him a rope necktie and let him swing.
Here in a minute.
Drag this scum out of here.
Come on home.
You're right, Pompey. We got plenty to do at home.
I get the sense that John Wayne's EQ is just not very high. He's building a house.
Mr. Tom!
All right, we still got 20 minutes left in a movie called The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. And we've seen the shooting. In point of fact, the essential question of the story has been answered. You know, you're not supposed to keep selling beyond beyond the clothes. Ooh, he survived. Look at that. I would not have thought Peabody would have survived that.
Come on, Rance.
See, the question about statehood is not really about the story that we're watching. We are dealing with Senator Stoddard now telling the story of Tom Doniphon. We don't care about the statehood battle.
And gentlemen,
I don't think Tom Doniphon cares about the statehood battle either.
let me speak to you from the heart.
Bingo. And this is a Mr. Peabody speech, who's sitting right there. I mean, this blowhard essentially is playing second fiddle to Peabody here. I didn't see that every day. This film does feel like a sort of a jobs program for all those people in Hollywood. It's like, who else are we going to drag out? Here we go.
To the magnificent oratory of the Honorable Major Cassius Starbottle, the cattleman's mouthpiece, the lowing herd is
As I've said, second fiddle.
But seriously, and we need statehood to protect the rights of every man and woman, however humble. How do we get it? I'll tell you how. We get it by placing our votes behind one man, the Honorable Ransom Stoddard!
Of honest, hard-working Americans whose only claim to the office is that he killed a man.
Do you call Liberty Valance a man?
What other qualifications has he then?
I feel like we're leading up to a very simple John Wayne pithy something or other
of an honest
to settle the matter. Nope. We're gonna get the speech. There we go. You go out there and get him. You go back in there.
Home, Tom.
Valance couldn't make you run away.
Isn't it enough to kill a man with a...
You didn't kill Liberty Valance. Allie's your girl now. Go on back in there and take that nomination. You taught her how to read and write. Now give her something to read and write about.
Well, you know the rest of it. Well, you're not going to use the story?
This is the West, sir. When the legend becomes fact, print the legend.
There it is. When the legend becomes fact, print the legend. Still, you know, giving Tom a day in the sun would have been nice.
It's getting late, Hallie.
Can pay off Pompeii.
I promise.
And there we go.
No, but Mr. Rance, I sort of have a hankering to come back here to live.
It was once a wilderness. Now it's a garden. Aren't you proud?
Nothing's too good for the man who shot Liberty Valance.
Man who shot Liberty Valance. We always like a good twist ending. That was fun. You know, I mean, obviously, when you get Jimmy Stewart and John Wayne in a picture, and you know Lee Marvin is the bad guy, you want to kind of leave it alone because they had a stacked cast for the stars of the Golden Age. But this wouldn't be a bad one to make a remake, because I kind of feel like Tom got shafted a little bit. I mean, as I'm thinking about it, it's too bad they didn't tell the story that that he was the one that supported Ransom Stoddard through his progress in the prairie. That would have been a nice story to tell, especially since he was the one that actually took the shot. I think my favorite character in the piece was Peabody. because he had a lot of the old world and the sort of the theatrical going for him. And so he had an interesting personality. What you have here as a story is that when you're thinking of writing, there's the concept of writing on the cusp of an era, meaning it is the time when one age shifts to another. And that's where a lot of the great conflicts in your story happen. So you've got the men of the range, the cattlemen, moving towards statehood, and you have, in sort of, Tom, it represents that, but he's also on the good side of that, whereas Liberty Valance was on the negative side. And they never really had an argument, a moral argument for the range versus statehood. But you're looking at the movement of a society from the wilderness into the town. And then, of course, from the town you'll move to the city eventually. Those are your scapes, your different societal scapes that you live in. And so the wilderness is where the men are, bigger than life, John Wayne types. And the town scape is more community feel, more negotiation. The man who is, a god in the wilderness becomes more refined in the town. And so we're looking at that conflict. As it becomes more stratified, you can't have, the god of the wilderness, this guy that makes his own rules and so forth, running amok. And so you knew that this sort of time was coming, that the West would have to settle into a community. And they didn't quite sort of celebrate the end of that era to the extent that I feel like they could have. Obviously, we have all these harken back, with the Westerns, to that simpler time when, men were men and they cussed and spit and, smoked and all the other stuff as a part of our American mythology. And this story obviously is part of that. The interesting thing about it is that, okay, you had to give, Ransom his due for showing up at the duel at the end. But Tom deserved at least a little bigger than a footnote in the history. So that's kind of where I would have been. Gee, it would have been nice. He gets more than just his cactus flower arrangement on his casket. But again, a great story. It is part of the American tradition of cinema, and it's certainly up there in the pantheon of westerns. I guess that's all I really need to say. I mean, this is a classic. I do think that it could use a remake. It'd be interesting to see what people would do. Can we shift? There was obviously some tonal problems that we had. The extreme violence and the extreme sentimentality sort of collision, which of course is part of that change of the era, the shifting from the wilderness to the town. That collision, I think, is probably part of what the writers were going for in this. Well, I took a quick break and walked around the block with this movie just to sort of think about what other things can we talk about. One of the elephants in the room that we haven't addressed before is about Pompey. Now, he is an interesting character, but he is not particularly well developed. And looking at the movie through the modern eyes, one might think, gee, does John Wayne have this sort of latent homosexual thing going on with him? What's going on here? No. What they were dealing with, remember, this was shot in the 1950s, before the Civil Rights Movement. And so you still had a world in which the black character is not allowed in the white bar. And so there was that slight moment where you noticed that John Wayne was just like, I don't care. He can have a drink too. Hey, have a drink. So he's showing a little bit of how magnanimous he is as a character. to include him. And if we were looking at this and reimagining this movie, the modern audience would probably go a different way. Rather than sort of just putting a little spattering of something and then moving on because it's not a race-related movie, they might put it more front and center where, you know, they make a big moment about it. Or they would use diverse casting in order to sort of change the dynamic, to recontextualize the story, which might be the most gracious way of talking about what Hollywood would do to this movie. The problem with that is that recontextualizing loses the actual historical value of this story. What I would recommend instead is simply contextualizing the story. That is, to recognize that Pompey was probably born a slave back when they had slavery, and might have been part of Tom's family growing up. And one of the challenges of Reconstruction is just simply cutting loose these people that are largely penniless, uneducated into the world without any sort of security. And there were a lot of people, a lot of former slaves that went back to work with their masters and stayed with them on plantations and other things after the Civil War because they didn't have any other choices involved. And so looking at it in those terms, a remake of this film might require just a line or two to mention that, hey, the reason Pompey hasn't dumped Tom and gone for the coast or, you know, gone to a city like Chicago or something like that has been because he simply doesn't have an education. And so the Jimmy Stewart character teaching him to read actually has more significance. Now, you could put a slightly different shape on his character and come out enabling the modern audience to view history in its proper context. That's really what to contextualize means. In order to put it in its proper context in history, but also that you don't want to throw off your story by, you know, creating conflicts that are actually not central to your story. So that was another little thing that I wanted to mention about developing this as a modern thing. There is also a challenge to the central conceit that when you create a legend in a particular narrative, right, print the legend rather than the fact, that is aged like milk in certain contexts in the modern era. And while it makes sense if you're looking at it from a perspective of a 1950s Hollywood that is still interested in maintaining Western civilization, that is still talking about the virtue of a republic and the virtue of learning civics and voting and wrestling through those issues, we would be better off today just simply saying, no, the legend is actually not the right one to post. You probably should print the truth. And that's the kind of thing that dates this movie just a little bit, because it is a challenge for the modern audience to say, wait a second, you're going to tell me that the official narrative is the only narrative that matters? Yeah, I'm going to have a problem with that one. I appreciate the movie for what it is and what it stands for as a time capsule of part of America's innocence and part of the civic virtues that Hollywood was trying to develop at that time. So we can probably use, again, to contextualize it, to put it in that context. It remains a classic film, and I didn't see that much wrong with it. Obviously, the problem that we're facing is that the modern audience looks back at older films with different colored eyes, different color through a different lens, and so it would look like Tom has a certain homosexual streak to it because he's carrying his boy around, kind of thing, and And it was a lifelong sort of relationship that followed them to the grave. And we just have to look at it. It may require just a little bit of clarification. So, in any event, everyone's got an opinion on film, and this is mine. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.